Let me tell you the story of a boy who was born into hardship, surrounded by cruelty and poverty, yet somehow managed to keep his innocence and goodness alive. Oliver Twist is one of the most famous novels written by Charles Dickens, first published in 1837. It's a powerful story about injustice, survival, and the struggle between good and evil in a harsh and unforgiving society. The story begins in a workhouse in England, where a young woman gives birth to a baby boy and dies shortly afterward. The child is left alone in the care of the authorities, with no family and no identity. He is given the name Oliver Twist, following the strange tradition of naming orphans alphabetically. From the very beginning, Oliver's life is filled with suffering. He grows up in the workhouse, where children are treated poorly and given barely enough food to survive. The people in charge are cruel and selfish, caring more about money and control than the well-being of the children. One day, after being starved for so long, Oliver gathers the courage to ask for more food. In a moment that becomes one of the most famous scenes in literature, he politely says, "Please, sir, I want some more." Instead of receiving kindness, Oliver is punished for his request. The authorities are shocked by what they see as his boldness. As a result, they decide to remove him from the workhouse and send him away. Oliver is first placed with an undertaker named Mr. Sowerberry. Life there is not much better. He is mistreated by the other workers and constantly reminded of his low status. After being insulted and bullied, Oliver finally fights back, which leads to more punishment. Unable to endure the abuse any longer, Oliver decides to run away. He walks for miles until he reaches London, hoping to find a better life. However, the city is filled with danger, especially for a young, innocent boy with no money and no connections. Soon after arriving, Oliver meets a boy named the Artful Dodger. The Dodger appears friendly and offers to help him. Trusting him, Oliver follows the boy to a hidden place where he meets an older man named Fagin. Fagin runs a group of young boys who survive by stealing from others. He trains them to become skilled pickpockets, teaching them how to steal without being noticed. At first, Oliver does not understand what is happening. He believes he has found friends and a place to belong, but soon he realizes the truth. He is surrounded by criminals. One day, Oliver is taken out with the Dodger and another boy to watch how they steal from people in the streets. During one of these attempts, the boys steal a handkerchief from an elderly gentleman named Mr. Brownlow. However, Oliver is mistaken for the thief and is arrested. Fortunately, the truth comes out in court when a witness confirms that Oliver did not commit the crime. Mr. Brownlow, seeing the boy's innocence and kindness, feels compassion for him and decides to take him into his home. For the first time in his life, Oliver experiences care and comfort. Mr. Brownlow treats him with kindness, gives him clean clothes, and allows him to rest and recover. Oliver begins to feel safe and hopeful. However, his past is not ready to let him go. Fagin and his dangerous associate Bill Sikes are worried that Oliver might reveal information about their criminal activities. They decide to bring him back by force. Nancy, a young woman connected to Fagin's group, is deeply troubled by the situation. Although she is part of the criminal world, she feels sympathy for Oliver and does not want him to suffer. Despite her concerns, Oliver is kidnapped and returned to Fagin's control. Soon after, Oliver is forced to participate in a burglary planned by Bill Sikes. The target is a house in the countryside. During the break-in, Oliver is injured by a gunshot. Instead of escaping with the criminals, he is left behind. The people living in the house, Mrs. Maylie and her adopted niece Rose, find Oliver and take care of him. They realize he is not a criminal, but a victim of circumstances. Once again, Oliver finds himself surrounded by kindness and compassion. Rose Maylie, in particular, shows great care for him and becomes an important figure in his life. Meanwhile, Nancy becomes increasingly conflicted. She knows Oliver deserves a better life and decides to take a great risk. She secretly meets Mr. Brownlow and reveals important information about Oliver's situation. Nancy explains that there is a man named Monks who is working with Fagin. Monks has a personal interest in Oliver and wants to keep him involved in crime. As the truth slowly comes to light, it is revealed that Oliver is not just an ordinary orphan. He comes from a respectable family, and Monks is actually his half-brother. Monks wants Oliver to become a criminal so that he will lose his inheritance and reputation. Nancy's decision to help Oliver comes at a terrible cost. When Bill Sikes discovers her betrayal, he kills her in a moment of rage. Her death is one of the most tragic moments in the story. showing how dangerous and unforgiving the criminal world can be. As events unfold, Mr. Brownlow confronts Monks and forces him to reveal the truth about Oliver's identity. It is confirmed that Oliver is the rightful heir to his father's estate. Monks is eventually punished, and Fagin is arrested for his crimes. In the end, he faces execution. Oliver is finally freed from the dangers of his past. He goes to live with Mr. Brownlow, who becomes like a father to him. He also remains close to Rose Maylie and her family, surrounded by the love and stability he never had as a child. Despite everything he has endured, Oliver remains kind, gentle, and pure-hearted. His character stands in contrast to the cruelty and corruption of the world around him. Through Oliver's journey, Charles Dickens exposes the harsh realities of poverty, child labor, and crime in 19th century England. The novel criticizes a society that fails to protect its most vulnerable members, especially children. At the same time, the story shows that kindness and compassion can exist even in the darkest environments. Oliver's survival is not just a result of luck, but also of his ability to maintain his goodness despite everything he experiences. While others around him are shaped by crime and hardship, Oliver refuses to lose his moral sense. In the end, Oliver Twist is not only a story about suffering, but also a story about hope. It reminds us that even in a world filled with injustice, there are still people who choose to do what is right, and sometimes that choice can change everything. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more classic stories.
It was a very good book. Did you like it too? You can write your thoughts in the comments section. See you in the next summary.